Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. She serves on 3 House committees, including the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. She represents New York's 24th Congressional District. Congresswoman Tenney, welcome to This Week on Capitol Hill.
Great to be on, and thank you for all your great work. It's been one incredible week, especially for Israel, but also for religious freedom, you name it. It's been a wonderful, actually the 2 weeks have seemed like 2 years and 2 weeks. Just keeping up with President Trump is an incredible level of energy. And the groundbreaking work he's already done in 2 weeks, it's going to be incredible to see what he does in the first 100 days. And I'm just hoping that members of Congress, and we can keep up with them and make sure that we deliver on the promises he made to the American people. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us. It's going to be very busy, as you've heard from every member of Congress, and you'll hear from our wonderful speaker later on.
Let's start. You mentioned Israel. Let's start there. It's fair to say there's been a sea change in U.S.-Israel relations since President Trump took office 3 weeks ago. Let's talk about how that relationship is impacting events in the Middle East.
Well, this is one of the most important relationships that we have in the United States, and I couldn't be more pleased with the policies and actually the bold action that President Trump has taken on so many of these issues, and understanding and recognizing that Israel is there to protect the West, and they've been protecting the West. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Netanyahu, it's been actually an incredible journey. And I don't think Prime Minister Netanyahu has gotten the recognition he deserves. He's getting that now. Israel is finally getting ready and getting that recognition. What I really appreciate is just the common sense that President Trump has applied to this issue. We're going to continue to spend billions and billions, probably trillions of dollars on failed policies. He came up with a novel approach, obviously, with the Abraham Accords, instead of waiting for the Palestinians to make a deal and, the Palestinian Authority with the Israelis. It was never going to happen. So he created the Abraham Accords. He said, let's get everybody else looking for prosperity in the Middle East. And now he's looking at something really incredible that he said that I know it's controversial, but I think it's absolutely brilliant, is like, let's make Gaza great again. Let's get rid of, what has been left. Gaza's a wasteland now because, let's be honest, when the Israeli government turned Gaza over to the Palestinian Authority and the Gazans, they gave them world-class architecture, a state-of-the-art city that they turned into tunnels, a breeding ground for anti-Semitism, for anti-Western thought. And now, we've got, a reckoning here, and President Trump is identifying properly that Gaza needs to be part of the prosperity and the future of the Middle East, not this backward-looking victimhood that has been perpetuated and, by the way, has become a profiteering type of mantra for Iran and enemies of the United States and Israel around the world.
You mentioned that conflict, that war between Hamas that they started when they attacked Israel on October the 7th. The president, or the prime minister of Israel, responding to that, defending his country, brought the International Criminal Court to a place of actually issuing an arrest warrant for him and the Minister of Defense. This week, President Trump issued an executive order imposing sanctions on the ICC.
Yeah, incredible move. I mean, the ICC is nothing but another bureaucratic organization set up, by people who don't stand up for human rights. It's based on anti-Semitism and attacking Israel. That seems to be the mission of so many of these organizations stood up in Europe, unfortunately. But I think it's important that Netanyahu, I think he needs to be recognized for the groundbreaking work he's done. He's not just fighting the war against Hamas and the proxies like under Iran, such as Islamic Jihad and every one of them that's involved in all these terrible acts against Israel and against the people of Israel. He's recognizing that there is a greater Satan, and that is the United States, and he stood up for that. So actually, Tony, I don't know if you know, but I actually nominated both President Trump and PM Netanyahu for a Nobel Peace Prize. We know the Nobel group is not really credible, but if it were to be credible, it would be nominating great leaders and bold leadership like President Trump for the Abraham Accords, VP, I keep saying President, sorry, Prime Minister Netanyahu for his groundbreaking work in saving the West with defending the country and the incredible work that they've done in countering these terrible, terrible situations and terrorists basically in Israel. And I also actually, former Defense Minister Gallant, for his brilliant actions in negotiating the very beginning of the response to the October 7 atrocities and how they were able to bring back and actually win this war in a very, very difficult way. I should say winning this war, since we have so much left to do. But I think having this friendship with President Trump, bold leadership, not the feckless, succumbing to the victimhood that's being perpetrated by Iran and others that's around the world from Joe Biden. I think we're seeing a new world. I actually think a lot of leaders, even some of them who may be characterized as our enemies, actually have respect for this. They like to see power from the United States. When the United States is weak, there's chaos in the world.
Right.
And now when you see the United States is back, we're seeing the world sort of realigning to make sure that we are protecting everyone in the world and bringing our allies together and, putting deterrence on our enemies.
The currency in the Middle East is power. We just have about a minute left, Congresswoman Tenney. I want to ask you about the legislation you've introduced along with the Friends of Judea and Samaria caucus that would require the United States government to refer to that area of Judea and Samaria as Judea and Samaria instead of the West Bank. Why is that important?
Right, exactly. Well, it's about the language and the manipulation of language. Using the term West Bank only plays into, the terrorist thought there, but it also, puts a marker on, some of the left's manipulation of this. For example, the biblical and the historical roots of the Jewish people are Judea and Samaria. Why are we trying to cover that up? And it's just a simple, it seems like a simple semantic change, but it's really important that we talk about things in terms of the facts and the history. And that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to bring back facts and history and let the world understand that this is where it starts. I'm really pleased with your efforts and the efforts of everyone who is gathered around. And we had a huge launch for the Judea and Samaria caucus. Yossi Gawan was there, the governor of Samaria. It's amazing. We are just so grateful. And we're going to grow this all across the country with all of our allies and partners everywhere we can to understand the importance of preserving and protecting the West through Israel and the United States.
I think it's an extremely important effort, and I appreciate you doing that. And thanks for joining us today as well.
Thank you so much.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.